Hey guys, welcome back to another Skyrim mods video, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Today we have a handful of mods that are just randomly picked. Very new mods, but some that I might have missed. If you end up finding a mod that you like, check the description to download it, and don't forget to endorse that mod author. And without further ado, let's dive right in. And just like I mentioned in the intro, this is a mod that I mentioned when it first came out, but I never got around to showcasing it. But this mod is called the Buoyant Armiger Armory. If I said that wrong, I apologize. Based on the description for this mod, this weapon pack and armor pack, because it does include more than just weapons, is based on Morrowind, which is a game I never got to experience, but now with Oblivion being remastered, I at least have tried that one. This new mod pretty much has a glass variant of every weapon for Skyrim, so you could make the perfect replacer, but along with the weapons, it is kind of missing the mace. That is the only weapon that could not be replaced if you decided to use this one. I don't know what it is, but it's starting to feel like maces and warhammers always get left behind in weapon mods for some reason. But I guess to make up for this mod missing out on having a mace, it includes two new shields. One is a round shield and the other is a tower shield. Neither one of them has a stat difference over the other, it is just completely cosmetic. But if you happen to be using a mod like Animated Armory, this mod can take advantage of that for the tower shield and introduce new animations, depending on if you have something like For Honor in Skyrim like I'm currently using. Now we just have to wait for someone to make a replacer for the glass weapons out of these. If they don't, then I will by the end of. But moving on to our next mod, this mod is called Children of the First. This mod using Sassy's assassin resource page overhauls the high elves that are around Skyrim, giving them also small accessories like glasses, but mainly just overhauling the appearance that you will see of named NPCs. Every NPC has been overhauled to still look similar to the vanilla version as you're seeing by the side by side, but they have been overhauled to look a lot better than what Bethesda was able to do. I kind of refuse to believe that Bethesda just can't make better looking characters. I think they're just doing it to make it funny because some of the characters do look a little weird. But at least we have mods like this taking advantage of Bethesda's mistake and making it a lot better. I think because the original models look so bad compared to the new version, it just makes this one look so much better. But even without all the extra information, I do believe that this mod does a great job at making high elves stand out while keeping their vanilla features apparent in their new appearance. With this mod installed, it doesn't just change the NPC's appearances, it also gives them new set of custom textures. And based on the mod page, the textures are based on the age of the NPC, and that's why you need the resource page, which is about 200 megabytes. And if that wasn't enough, this mod goes even further and gives every single one of these NPCs a high poly head, which something is usually only for the player character only, or it destroys your FPS, but this mod does it without even harming your FPS at all. And now we move on to an even more simple mod, adding more animals inside of Skyrim. We have this mod called Swans, Monsters and Animals by Mihail. This mod, as you can see by the title, adds in swans that basically rotate inside of water. They don't have any special AI, meaning that they won't run if you get close or start to fly. They just have a set cycle like animated boats and just roll inside of water. And also, if you happen to be a violent person, you can walk up to these and start killing them, but as I said, they don't have a special AI, so they will kind of just sit there and stare at you while you burn them alive. But you have a valid reason for killing them, at least, because there's a new alchemy item called Swan Feathers, so do with that information what you will. And now we have a new female only armor mod that can't be found on Nexus, but it is still free. This mod is called the Katari Armor by Fuse. And as I said, it is a female only armor that only has support for CVBE, but I'm pretty sure once this video comes out, there will be patches for 3BA as well, or B-Hump. It's a simple 4-piece light armor that can be crafted at a forge. Once you have the required materials, it is not free, unfortunately. And of course it does have HCT because it is by Fuse, but I don't think anyone has done a skirt perfectly with SMP. So it might clip a little bit if you jump a lot, but if you're just running or walking or sprinting, you should be relatively safe. And if it does mess up, don't fret, you can just unequip it and then re-equip it, and then it should be perfectly fine for you to continue killing enemies. This next mod is a must-have in my opinion, but this mod is called Perfectly Valid Wards. This mod makes it so that wards are actually useful. Generally in vanilla Skyrim, wards are only good for blocking certain magical spells, not even all of them work to be blocked by it. But this mod has been updated to pretty much work like regular shields, but better. Now when you cast a ward, it will effectively block all spells, all swords, depending on which direction you're aiming when you're casting a ward, and also arrows. Depending on your character's playthrough setup, and depending on if you even have this mod installed, this mod can make wards better than even dragon shields by the end of the game, just as long as you have enough magicka to keep casting it. Up next we have a new underrated mod. This mod is called Khajiit Fashions 2.0 Bard Harder. I originally showcased the original one, but this mod basically overhauls bards around Skyrim, named ones mostly, and it uses Skypatcher to do so, distributing certain outfits to named NPCs so that it won't conflict with NPC replacers such as face changes. And the mod author does list every single person that he took resources from to make this mod, so you don't need requirements under this mod, you just download this mod, and as long as you have Skypatcher, you just install it and it should work. And this is only the newer version of it. He also has a bunch of other replacers for other mods and other people so that you can have vanilla friendly new outfits. Just like this next mod, but instead of for bards, it is for the Khajiit Caravans, and it is simply called Khajiit Caravan Fashions. With this mod, all three factions of the Khajiit Caravans, ranging from the ones that go to Whiterun to Solitude to even the ones in Dawnstar, all have new vanilla friendly outfits that don't currently have patches for CBBE because these are completely new outfits just using mashups. But they are vanilla friendly, and based on the textures being used and the size of this download, I would assume that the textures are anywhere from 2K to 4K textures. So you can downscale those if that hurts you. But otherwise, these are just great outfits that you could use if you don't like replacing your armors. And even if you do use Norwar armors, these kind of still blend in considering the fact that they look a lot better than what the armors you get in just vanilla Skyrim. So now all we wait for is either HCT or 3BA body slide. Up next, we definitely have the most expansive mod on this video, but this mod is called Dwemer Deepwalkers. This mod is only less than about 100 megabytes, but honestly, the stuff that it provides, if you didn't have most of the textures and meshes already inside your game, this could be well over a gigabyte. This mod adds in tons of new creatures that you can either fight or use as summoning companions, and to find the summoning spells, they are placed all around the world in named locations that you can check on the mod page or through this video. I didn't showcase all of them, but the main two fastest ones that you can find. Alongside the summoning spells, you can also find certain armors placed around Skyrim. And of course, you may be looking at these and wondering why they look so chunky, and that's because they're meant to be deep water, and as we know, underwater there is a lot of pressure. This armor was made to keep all the water out and keep you comfortable. All the armor sets are placed around the world. You don't have to craft any of them or do any certain quests. You just have to find a dungeon and then get inside the dungeon. Now, getting inside the dungeon might require a quest, but I don't think that really counts considering this mod itself does not introduce a quest. It just takes advantage of what is inside of Skyrim. Also, I could definitely see these armors working in Fallout 4. Almost every single creature introduced inside of this mod can be summoned, and they will fight alongside you. I was thinking that this thing would kind of fire cannons at people, but it just melee attacks them. But alongside just fighting alongside you, most of them you can also ride. But to ride them, I did have to figure out that you have to actually put your weapon up first. It doesn't do it for you automatically like it would for a horse. Once you see your weapon, you just hop on and then you pretty much zoom around. And to be honest, I was definitely starting to feel like it was something involved with Star Wars. And mainly about the creatures, they are expert to master level spells, so they will walk around pretty much one-shotting everything early game if you happen to find the spells and have enough magicka to use them. Generally you won't have enough, but just in case you do, these spells will be perfect for speedrunning Skyrim. Or you can use them like Pokemon or have a mech battle and have them fight the hand placed enemies that this mod also adds in. And also, fun fact, even though this thing did spawn behind me as I was recording part of the armor showcases, I ended up running from it. But honestly, it's pretty peaceful unless you start attacking it, but I don't think it can die. This mod also adds in bosses, but the fun fact is that this giant creature does not count as one. Because it's pretty peaceful, it's just meant as a groundskeeper. But trust me, when you run into the bosses, they will not be so peaceful, and all of them have their own lore and backstory that you can read into. They aren't just overpowered Dwemer mechs that you just run into just randomly. They're all there for a reason, and you can definitely find out that reason by downloading the mod. As I said, this mod is barely over 15 megabytes, so I don't see any reason not to at least try this. This next mod is a new immersive take on lockpicking, or lack thereof. This mod is called Break the Lock. Using this mod with Object Impact Framework, you can now break locks with the power attack. Unlike other mods that do the same thing like Barbarian Lockpicking, this one is completely RNG and it does not depend on your stats. After you hit an item that is currently locked, you have to hit it amount of 3 times, and then a notification will appear on the left top of your screen, depending on how you have Sky UI set up, letting you know if the lock was broken, or if you have to power attack it 3 more times. Based on the mod's description, it is a 20% chance, but honestly I've seen it activating a lot more often than that 20% chance. But I did run into one issue sometimes when I would power attack 3 times. It would say that it was unlocked and the chest would open, but nothing would be unlocked. Maybe that has something to do with snazzy chests. I'm not entirely sure. And that was it for today, guys. Let me know what you thought about this selection of mod, or maybe a mod that's underrated and you wanted me to check out. But as of right now, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.